You already know we right here at work decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals. See what's the talk of the town is going down. The word on the curve, you heard me. Beautiful, hot, sunny day here in Southern California. So it's a lovely day to be enjoying out and about. But you already know how we get down, bro. We got to be on the grind all the time. Let me just set this up. Now, for those who are curious, I did drop a new video on this channel, right? Discussing one of Argentina's most young serial killers. So if you guys are interested in those topics, real true life crime, we talked about, a very disturbed, craved individual. It's crazy. It's crazy. And on my other channel, I did drop a freestyle. If you guys are curious to check that out, little quick freestyle to a new school beat. Actually selected by one of my subscribers. Because I'm not too, hip on the new school beats, right? But we do a little something. I'm not that much of a fan of new school beats, but a little something. My love bug is definitely up in the building. Love you, baby. Yeah, but Argentina's most youngest serial killer, that one actually, it's very few cases that really, truly blow my mind. That just happened to be one of them. It's crazy to think that a kid that age could be so disturbed. It's a trip. What does Shadow think about The Matrix? The movie? The movie in itself, it's an interesting concept, right? It's like the futuristic version of telling the story of Jesus Christ. I have heard conspiracy theories of we're in the Matrix, we're stuck in the Matrix, and I'm just like, it's a trip. It's funny what movies can do, huh? How movies have planted so many, wild ideas into people's minds. You know what I mean? The rapper took a long flight downstairs. Cancinero? The rapper? Which? I don't think I have heard of. Wait, have I heard of him? America has joined the live stream. It has always been in the live stream, bro. We are America. Captain America? Yes, America is a beautiful country. What's cracking, Mr. Pasas de Felipe in the casa for the raza? Woo woo. The live. Jim scared me, bro. Oh, he did? Oh, my bad. Farm life has me thinking about life. You smoke weed, homie? Actually, no, I don't. What do you mean? You mean the nature has you thinking about life? Has you questioning reality? No. I like your Mexican tacos. Oh, gracias. Our food is quite delicious. Everybody brings something good to the table, bro. Everybody has, something beautiful within their culture. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people choose to focus so much on the negatives instead of the positives of the world. Yeah, he was. So what the homie calling me, bro? We doing it live. He was tight. It took him. Oh, serio? Nah, I'm gonna have to scope it out. Dashboard's definitely up in the building. Woo woo. What's good, my boy? Speak Arabic. But I'm not Arabic, though. I don't know how to speak Arabic. I'm not Arabic. I'm Mexican American. Tacos árabes are good. Yes, they are. And it's because of Arabics that we actually have tacos de al pastor, because the technique of of making a pastor actually came from them teaching it to the Mexicans. So, fun fact. The Pope just passed away yesterday. R.I.P. Pope Francis. I know the Catholic community is mourning. Yeah, cool shit. He seemed like he was a nice individual, pues, you know what I mean? The reason I say seems is just because I personally don't know him, right? So I don't know, if he had any demons to him, you know what I mean? Because you truly don't know somebody, especially, with a lot of things that have came out about the Catholic Church, not to say that he's involved or anything like that, right? But there's a lot of things that, it's left me scratching my head, right, about how they went about things, right, when it comes to handling those types of matters, right? But, feeling more confident talking to the, and not even though she trusts me. That's right, my boy. Hey, little by little, homie. That's all you can do. I love all types of food, Mexican, Chinese, Indian. Yeah, I know. Food is just delicious. Why? Why don't I smoke weed? I don't know. It's just never been my thing. I never like to feel like, how could I say, where I zone out. You know what I mean? I like to be on point. I mean, I have smoked in the past, right? But it was just never my thing. Puro Tijuana, eso es todo. Is a good Spanish hip hop. All right. And I got a new job, but once starts till next month. All right, that's good, my boy. See, hey, everything's lining up, bro. The stars are lining up. Tell you, bro, you just gotta have, you gotta stay positive. I'm gonna get trained to be a bus driver. Oh shit, serio? Damn, my boy. That's right. City living. Gonna get paid the, some pretty good guap. Yeah, that's good for you, bro. It's more of a stable job, you know what I mean? Guys like Wes Watson, Gunner, Dubs, Renegade Media want people to think that they are legends. Well, they want them to see them as not so much Renegade Media. I don't believe that he fits in that category, but the rest of the individuals definitely want to be seen as thugs and gangsters and tough and killers and riders and all of that they I don't know. This is fuck, man. Do you think they are legends? Do I think who are legends? Gunner and Dubs and them? Like, no. I don't think they're legends at all. I don't even think that they gangster. Not so much Dubs, but Gunner and West, I don't see them as gangster at all. Maybe individuals that wanted to be gangster, right? But just never were gangsters. So. History has been going at it with what else? Hey, that's the life of the streets. Conflict is always what it is. Are you a cartel? No, I'm not in a cartel. Dub usually talks about his experiences, but he doesn't mention him being in. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true. He avoids, topics like that. And it's funny because, he tends to talk about like, oh, okay, I'll talk about this since people are talking about, but yet, when it comes to that conversation, he's just a conversation he's not willing to have, or wants to have. I'll tell you one thing though, he never denies it though, either. Right? He just doesn't address it. Which I don't know why. I mean, because if you say that you don't no longer care for that and you've grown up already and blah blah, then it's strange. The fact that you don't want to go into those topics. Then I don't know. Like I said, people can say whatever they want in this world, right? But their actions will always say the truth, though. Like, well, if that's true, then what's the issue? Right? They're saying one thing, but their actions are saying another. Right? What about Boxer? People say he's a legend. He's a narcissist. I don't think the legend thing is not a real thing. It's not a term that people use. It's a term that Dubs uses. You know what I mean? Like nobody refers to nobody as legends. They don't even refer to themselves as that. You know what I mean? Nobody calls. Nobody thinks of anything like that. Like that's something that for some strange reason Dubs decided to label on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know the reason for it. Right? It's strange in itself, right? Because I've never heard that term being used except on here on YouTube. In his head, maybe at one point, who knows? Um, but as to say that he wanted to be referred as that or be called that or labeled as that, I don't think that that's something that he was in. But because like I said, it's not something that you hear. You just hear on here. Because he coined the term, and they beefing it heavy as. Oh yeah, that always tends to happen. Like I said, what else is new? Like they say, why does consider people who are in prison organizations to be legends? I truly don't know. I don't know, bro. I truly have no clue. I said that's just something I have never heard, ever, ever, ever. Just he's the only person I ever heard, use that term. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know, for whatever reasons he has. Like I said, which contradicts, what he said that he stands or is about, and like you know what I'm saying. I don't even think he truly knows um, what his objective is. Do you smell what the Rock is cooking? Yes, sirrito, some putang pie. Still hoping that the tortilla that serves as a for tortilla flats on mission rolled by first could be revealed. Oh no, it was not the neighborhood in itself was not named after the tortilla plant. You know what I mean? That's what people thought, but it's not why though. That you'll never know that you're outside of his house. Aren't you guys funny? Are you a gang member? I am myself. What's good, man? How's it going? Good. How about yourself, though, Rich? What's good with you? Now he's a pastor about peace and love. He doesn't even believe in gangs and guns. Yeah, I don't believe in violence. I believe in peace and harmony. Where are you from, sir? I am from California. It was named Tortilla Flats after the book. No, it wasn't named after the book either. I don't want to get it I would have to go back and read what the homie had sent me, right? Because I don't want to mess up the the explanation, right, of what he told me. Um, because look, keep this in mind. The reason for it is because there's more than one Tortilla Flats gang, and they're not all the same. So there's different Tortilla Flats gangs, but they have the same name. You have the Harbor Area Tortilla Flats, then you have the Tortilla Flats, the Compton Barrio Tortilla Flats, and then you have the Tortilla Flats over here, in Boyle, and then you also have the Tortilla Flats in San Diego. And even though they all have the same name, you would think, okay, well, it's the same gang. No, it's not the same gang. It's different gangs that just happen to have the same name. And you'll be surprised how many times that has happened. It actually happens a lot. There's a lot of neighborhoods that have the same name but are different gangs. And while some are named after the book, you know what I mean? Oh, well, yeah, then I should have probably asked you which tortilla flats you're talking about. That was my bad. You mean the tortilla flats here? This one was named after the plant, the tortilla factory. I thought you were talking about the Compton Barrio tortilla flats, because that's normally the one that people refer to when they speak about tortilla flats. But there's several different ones, and then they have no connections with each other. It's just, As a matter of fact, they didn't even know about each other until later on. Yeah. See, I thought for someone, I don't know why, I assumed that you were talking about the Compton Barrio tortilla flats. Because that's the one that normally people always, mention or want to talk about, right? So that was my bad. I probably should have been more specifically which one you meant. So yeah, that was my bad. My bad. Oh, you are snitching on gangs. This is all public knowledge, bro. It's not snitching. Snitching is if you're talking about gangs activities. You got to know what the term means. Snitching is if I was to come on here and be like, so and so from this neighborhood is sells drugs, and so this guy right here, he's known to pack the gun. This so and so, puts in work, and describe their criminal empire. Talking about how why they're named or what they're named that's not something that's snitching. It's not something that could convict somebody. This is knowledge that there's it's shit that they put on the wall themselves. You can believe what you want, though. I'm not here to convince you of otherwise. Are you still gonna mess with the G Life video? Oh yeah, Simon. Yeah, we're still gonna come up with those. Don't trip. How tall are you, buddy? I am 5'8". The YouTube G Life series on Barrios you have beef with, I haven't seen. Actually, I have covered them. Now, when I first did them, the first time, I gotta admit that I let my opinion get the best of me in those videos, right? I tended to be a little bit more hostile. You know what I mean? I let my feelings, get the best of me. I have redone them, and I think, they're a lot more better. It's difficult to, to go into those subjects, right? But I try to always be, unbiased on here, right? I remember you mentioned, can I call you Mario? Like Super Mario. Young Dopey, King Little G, are they good Chicano rep? Yeah, they're really good Chicano. I'm not a hater. You know what I mean? I can acknowledge when individuals have talent, even though we have neighborhood issues and stuff like that. That doesn't take away from an individual's talent, right? Like the individuals could rap. They're some of the best. Especially King Little G. He definitely has a lot of skills, right? I'm not gonna take that away from him just because of the neighborhood issues, right? Like I said, I'm not a hater. I can acknowledge when people have talent and skills. I was so that say they're getting Lahaina said it comes Tutorial. Do you think 6ix9ine is the most successful Chicano rapper? Do you think his music was snitching? No, actually, I didn't enjoy his music at all. And this is before even the snitching thing, right? It was just too. I don't know. Like I just his a lot of his bars didn't even like match fit. They didn't even rhyme. Right? There was a whole lot of yelling. I don't know. His whole concept I just didn't dig. Don't let him hear you call him a Chicano rapper because he will be offended because he has actually said that he is not that. Grow up, buddy. I'm already grown though. You want me to grow more? I was mentioning the Boyle Heights. Let's make you gossiping then. I'm gossiping then? I didn't realize that talking about, the history of things is gossiping, but I guess. If that's what it is, then that's what I'm doing. It's crazy because out here packing guns in a crime as long as you ain't a felon, I could say that. Yeah, but people are still gonna get some type. They're still gonna have, they're still gonna see you in some type of way, regardless if you're a felon or not, though. Just because people how they feel about weapons overall in general. Making a lot of videos about serial killers lately. Have you ever heard about that? Oh no, yeah, I like to cover them here on this channel, right? I like to talk about more of the human behavior overall in general, right? I like to go into the concepts of human behavior, not just in serial killers, but overall, bad traits that people have, right? Whether gambling, prostitution, serial killers, criminals, arsons, all of that, But yeah, it's actually a trip though. There are murders about. No, I haven't. I'll scope it out for sure. In the state of Texas, you can carry it. Oh no, yeah, I'm aware of that. You see everybody with a holster. Thing about the case is that he is a serial killer, but he was in the. Oh no, yeah. You don't have to be a serial killer to be depraved and deranged and all of that, right? Like there's some individuals that have done some crazy shit, right? Like even though they only killed that one person, that crime in itself was fucking horrendous, right? Like there's this one this guy in he committed his crime in New Orleans, right, where he chopped up his wife and cooked her and ate her, or ate some of her, and then he proceeded to commit suicide by jumping out of the tall ass building, killing himself, and he left a note behind, talking about his crimes and what he's done and all that, right? So, and with a video to top it off, right? Documenting his action, right? So, it must have sucked for that detective that had to fucking watch that video, right? Of him, torturing and chopping her up and cooking her and all that crap. Right? So that in itself, I mean, he's not a serial killer, but that crime in itself is already like what the fuck. And it's a trip. It's because people always just talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, right? But he wasn't the only cannibal. There's been so many cannibals, and not even like, oh, that was just back then. No, even as of recent times, there's so many cannibals out there, like people that kill people and eat them, that it's actually quite disturbing. Right? You're just like, what the fuck? People would actually be mind blown at the amount, because it's shit that doesn't normally make the news, right? Or it's not something that people normally hear about, right? Obviously because the media doesn't want to panic people, right? To think that individuals like this are just roaming around and running around, right? But yeah, humans in general are, man, they something else. If people were just to research the amount of child abuse cases and child abuse in general that gets reported on a day-to-day, I think people will be fucking mind blown and like, what the fuck? To think that so many kids are suffering on a day-to-day, by their parents, it leaves you questioning humanity, and leaves you just like, that shit's just wild. How many cases there is, because we're talking about a lot, bro. On a day to day, how many kids actually get molested, tortured, and all of that, bro? And not even like I mean, locally around your area, right? It's fucking just mind blowing, bro. The number that I seen, I was just like, nah, this shit can't be real, you know. And then the amount of kids that are in the foster home system, I'm just like, fuck, bro, that shit, fuck. It's like, why the fuck are people having kids then? Shit, man, that shit is. And then people wonder why the world is so fucked up, though. You know what I mean? You know, it's a trip. It's a trip. It's like people just refuse to fucking just take responsibility. I don't know. People are a trip, though. I can see why a lot of people just have no faith in humanity, right? But at the same time, we can't lose faith either, right? Within humanity. Because there's as many bad people that there is in this planet, there's also a lot of good people too. And as much as you see a lot of bad deeds happen, there's also a lot of good deeds, and people coming together to help out each other, in the world, right? So we can't just let the negativity or the negative of the world consume us, right? Because then we become a part of that as well, All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.